the boring stuff hopefully within 20 minutes or so, and then we'll provide you with an update of what's to come for this year and how you can get involved. So we will make it worth your while. So grab your coffee, have a sip, and I'm going to pass it. Oh, actually, before I pass it over, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to do the land acknowledgement to start, and I'm going to pull this up like that. So we affirm that we are all treaty people and acknowledge that Central County's tourism operates within ancestral territory and treaty lands of the Hiawatha First Nation, Curve Lake First Nation, Alderville First Nation, Mississaugas of Scugog First Nation, Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, Mississauga First Nation, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa of Georgina, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. Central County's tourism resides in the Dish with One Spoon area. The Dish with One Spoon is an ancestral legal agreement between the governing bodies of the Wendat, Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples regarding the use of the land's resources, their commitment to future generations' needs from the land, and that the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Treaty is the oldest physical evidence in the world of a civilization having a high level of understanding of environmental resource management that informs the indenturing of rights of the environment and the future generations directly into their legal code. So before handing the mic over to Angela, I'd like to take this opportunity to mention that that the month of June is a special time to celebrate and recognize the Two-Spirited 2S Indigenous community. Not only is June Pride Month in Ontario, but June is also National Indigenous History Month, with National Indigenous Peoples Day taking place on June 21st. So for generations, many Indigenous peoples and communities have celebrated their culture and heritage on or near the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. Many Pride events have already taken place across this region this month, with more to come this weekend in Port Perry, Newmarket, and Orangeville. So I encourage you to get out there and learn more about your local 2SL LGBTQIA plus community and local summer solstice events. So visit our event calendar at yorkdurhamheadwaters.ca for more details. So today, actually, Angela, I'm going to pass this over to you if you're okay with that.
Yes, absolutely. So good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to welcome you to this year's Central County's Tourism Annual General Meeting. As we gather to reflect on the past year and look forward to the future, I wanted to start by offering my heartfelt gratitude to our passionate and committed staff team, to our dedicated outgoing board members, and to our new board members. We warmly welcome you today. And to all of you stakeholders who contribute to our vibrant and resilient visitor economy. This past year has reminded us yet again that what truly defines Central Counties isn't just our strategy or our outputs, it's our people. Tourism is at its core about connection. And over the last few months, we've seen just how deep these connections run. Our team has faced some incredibly difficult moments, personal loss, family changes, and the weight of many small but very real pressures. And yet, in the face of it all, they stepped up for each other. They supported one another with empathy and strength, never missing a beat in serving our communities and our stakeholders. That kind of culture doesn't happen by accident. It's built with intention. And it's one of those things that really makes Central Counties so special. To Adriana, Jessica, Katie, Lisa, Sandra, Sarah, Sue, and Tom, thank you. You really embody what it means to be a team. Your commitment, professionalism, and heart shine through in everything you do. And of course, I must recognize someone whose leadership has been instrumental in making this organization what it is, Chuck. Chuck, your passion, knowledge, and deep understanding of our industry are unmatched. You not only bring wisdom and clarity to complex challenges, but you do so with an unshakable belief in the power of what tourism can do for our communities. On behalf of the board, thank you for your unwavering dedication and for the vision you bring to this work every single day. As a board, we take pride in working side by side with Chuck and the team, especially during our annual retreat, where we collaborate closely on the development of the business plan. It's during that time we roll up our sleeves and ensure that strategies we set for the year ahead are both ambitious and realistic, supporting innovation and progress while always being mindful of our teams and our stakeholders' time and capacity. We believe in doing fewer things exceptionally well. In our experience, it's far better to focus on knocking it out of the park than to chase too many goals and risk burnout and frustration. And this discipline intentional approach is what sets our region up for long-term success. And this year will be no different. Later on this morning, you'll hear directly from staff who are already off to a busy start. They'll be sharing highlights from the business plan and some new opportunities for your businesses or organizations to take part in. To our outgoing board members, thank you for your service and impact. Your leadership has helped shape a strong and thoughtful organization. And to our new board members, welcome. Your insight, enthusiasm, and fresh perspectives are incredibly valuable, and we look forward to working with you. It truly is a privilege to serve along such a passionate, smart, and engaged board. Each member brings something unique to the table, and together with our staff, we're united by a common goal: to continue building a visitor economy that supports communities, creates opportunities, and leaves a lasting legacy. Thank you again to all of you for being part of this journey. I hope today leaves you as inspired and energized as I feel every time working with this incredible team. Thank you. And with this, I would like to move the first motion that the Board of Directors approve the agenda as presented on June 18th, 2025. Motion by Emily Quinton and seconded by John Chaneco. All approve? All approve. Motion moved. Thank you. The second motion I would like to move is that the Board of Directors approve the AGM minutes on June 12, 2024. Motion by Vicky Sword, seconded by Carol Maitland. Can I have a vote for approval, please? The motion has been approved. Thank you. And now I would like to pass the mic over to our treasurer, Bill.
Thank you, Angela, and good morning, everyone. My name is Bill Cutt, and I am the current chair of the Finance Committee and treasurer. I would like to start this off as I am a departing board member, to take this opportunity to express my gratitude. It has been truly a pleasure to work with this team, from Chuck's positive leadership, the staff's attention to detail, especially Katie's, and fellow committee members. Thank you, one and all. At this time, I would like to introduce Samuel van der Baren from MNP LLP, who will review the 2024-25 audit results.
Thanks for the introduction, Bill. So as mentioned, my name is Samuel van der Baren. I'm here this morning representing MNP LLP. We're a full-service accounting, audit, and tax consulting firm, and we've long provided the audit report for Zone 6 Regional Tourism Organization, better known as Central Counties Tourism. We sit coast to coast in Canada. I sit personally here in Durham, so very familiar with the Central Counties area. So just before we hop into the audit report, a few notes to make. As auditors, our responsibility is to report to the members, yourselves, on the fair presentation of the financial statements. So we are not charged with preparing the financial records. We just review, audit, and provide our report. We completed our audit of the financial statements for Central Counties Tourism for the year ended March 31st, 2025. We provided our audit findings to Chuck and to the board, and our audit was carried out in accordance with the Canadian audit standards. So in conclusion, our audit findings reported that the financial statements of Central Counties Tourism fairly presented in accordance with the Canadian audit standards, the Canadian accounting standards for not-for-profit organizations. We issued an unmodified opinion, which essentially just means everything was clean, and it's consistent with all prior years. No significant deficiencies were noted in internal controls, and none came to our attention. So to hop into the financial statements as they were presented, this here presents the statement of operations for the organization. And so you'll see revenue at the top, similar to last year, mostly made up of grant funding from the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Gaming and the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario. And then the expenses in line with the budgeted amounts as presented to the Ministry of Tourism. And just really quickly here, this is the balance sheet for the organization. So it essentially presents the assets, the debts, and the net assets of the organization, fairly similar to last year. So very important here. We'd just like to quickly confirm that we were independent from the board of directors and management of Central Counties Tourism. As previously mentioned, we were not charged with preparing the financial information, just auditing and providing a report on the fair presentation. Our letter discussing our independence is included as part of our audit findings report, and I believe it can be requested if you'd like to dig into that further. So overall, I just want to extend a quick gratitude and thanks to Katie, Chuck, and the entire team at Central Counties Tourism. They make our job easy by being so thorough and so upfront with their responses to our questions. All right, thank you so much, and take care.
Yeah, we're flying through this, Bill.
Thank you for that, Sam. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that reads that the audited financial statements for the year ended March 31st, 2025 be approved. Can I get a mover on that? Ross. And a seconder? Tony? All in favor? Carried. Lastly, the appointment of the auditors motion will read as that MNP LLP be appointed as external auditors for Central Counties Tourism for the fiscal year commencing April 1st, 2025, with remuneration to be fixed by the board of directors. Can I have a mover on that? Laura, thank you. And a seconder? Angela, all in favor? And that's carried. Again, thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure, and I'll turn that back over to you, Angela.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Bill, for all your hard work for chairing the committee, and we will definitely miss you. But thank you for all your dedication and for your hard work, and thank you, Katie. Katie is for lack of a better word, accounting machine. She really dots all the T's and you know, dots all the I's, sorry, crosses off all the T's. That's what I meant to say. So thank you, Katie, for your incredible work and keeping us all in line. So now I would like to present the slate of directors for the 2025-2026. So we have Ashley Agnoloni with Tourism Vaughan, Charles Banfield, Regional Municipality of York, Jim Beachy, Georgina Chamber of Commerce, Jeffrey Bursey, Vintage Hotels, the Millcroft Inn and Spa, John Chinecko, Holiday Inn Express and Suites Vaughan Southwest, Element by Westin Vaughan Southwest, Benny DeVezia, Invest Hotels and Comfort in Pickering, Lori Fedema, Slapdown Cider Co., Angela Haynes, Town of Aurora, Martin Coupri, the Alton Mill Arts Center, Christina Liu, Town of Stouffville, Ross Martins Lomas Scugog Tourism Advisory Committee, Carol Maitland, Town of Shelburne, myself, McMichael Canadian Art Collection, Emily Quinton, Town of Caledon, Jackie Severes, Durham Tourism, Jerry Smith, the Village of Black Creek, Toronto and Region Conservation, TRCA, Vicky Sword, Town of Orangeville. We also would like to mention two non-voting directors, Aruba Ahmed from Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Gaming, and Carol Greenwood, Tourism Industry Association of Ontario. I would like to move a motion that the Board of Directors approve the slate of directors to serve on the 2025-2026 Central Counties Tourism Board as of June 18th, 2025. Can I have a mover, please? Charles, thank you, and seconded by Jerry. Can I have a vote? Thank you, all moved. And now I will pass the mic over to Chuck. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, this is always the tough part. So the way that this board of directors has been set up, and I think very wisely, is we have everyone has 3-year terms, but they are staggered 3-year terms. There are up to 18 board members at any given time, which is a large board, but it's a big region, and we all seem to be doing a great job of marching to the same drum. However, having said that, every year we lose awesome people because they've done their second term. So we usually have a 1/3 turnover, and this year is no different. So I'd like to really take a minute to thank the following directors who are no longer going to be with us, at least on the board. They're going to be with us daily as we bug them for other reasons. So Bill Cutt has been with us and has stepped up and been on the finance committee almost since day one. It is a very active committee. We want to make sure that we, as Angela says, we have all of our T's dotted and our I's crossed, and going and making sure that the money is spent the way that this has been approved by the board, and make Sam's job easier. So Bill, thank you so much for all that you have done. Thank you for wearing the same outfit today. That's the picture, and that's fantastic. So we recognize, we know who it is. It's so good. We're also losing Tony Alenis, who's the president and CEO of Orma. Tony has been a wealth of knowledge on our board, and we will probably still keep reaching out to him. Having someone who's working at a sector association that is as active and prolific as Orma has been great for us, because he's got the insights. He is always pounding the pavement at Queen's Park and knows what's going on. And it's really helped, especially during those planning sessions, to get Tony's perspective. And he's been phenomenal. We've got Laura Gibb, who's the Director of Community Services at the City of Pickering. And Laura's been with us for quite a while, very instrumental, made sure that the Pickering got a community tourism plan in place, and now they are running with it. They've got Matt on the way. The things that have happened while Laura's been on the board has been awesome. Thank you, Laura. Dwayne's not with us today because this guy travels more than anyone. I'm sure that he is able to take his family on around the world vacations for free because of the air miles that he is racking up, as now the regional director of brand marketing for Six Flags Entertainment, which I think last week had him in Atlanta, and this week he's in Charlotte, and the week before that, it was Chicago. He's been great. We really do like to have a good mix of business, like private stakeholders, and our municipal and regional stakeholders. And Dwayne has been great as the biggest attraction in our region by volume of people that come. It was great to know that they appreciated and were actively engaged with our organization. Sometimes you forget that. You think, oh, Wonderland doesn't need us. But a Wonderland is smart because they decide to work with us. And to the point where Dwayne has been on our board for 6 years and has been excellent at helping us out. Lara Tolman is going to also be leaving us. She is the Manager Events, Tourism and Culture Strategic Initiative, Town of Whitby. She also made sure that there was a tourism plan created for the Town of Whitby. I think they are just about to introduce Matt, maybe, or it is, I can't remember. Once again, fantastic to have them on board, and they stepped up along with Durham Tourism, and they are the co-sponsors of the 2026 Tourism Symposium, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So we can't thank them enough for that continual ongoing support, and we are looking forward to continuing our relationship with the Town of Whitby. We also lost a few board members through the year for different reasons. We were able to replace some of them, but Lenny Brem from Brem Consulting, she was amazing and started our idea committee, which is great. Trevor's been on the board for a very long time and is, even though he's leaving our board now, is now sitting as a working group member as the town of Erin is going through their community tourism plan. So although he is no longer on our board, he is still as active as ever in his community. And Shruti Ganapathy from the Markham Arts Council has been a wealth of knowledge when it comes to where art and tourism collide. And she's been very helpful in helping us craft and determine where we're going to be able to support. So thank you all, and I know that it's difficult, but thank you to all those board members. It is not goodbye. It's not like you're gone. We will be reaching out, and we'll keep you in the know, like we keep everyone else in the know in terms of what's happening. So thank you from all of the staff and the rest of the board of directors. And with that, I'm passing it back to you, Angela, just for a second. Oh, you're on mute. Oh, we got to say it one time. That's awesome.
So I would just like to once again, Bill, Tony, Laura, Dwayne, and Laura, thank you for your service, and we will miss you very much. We look forward to, of course, continuing to work with you, and as Chuck said, we will be reaching out to you, so please don't block our numbers. We have other ways of finding you. But thank you again all for participating in today's annual general meeting. Your continued support, insights, and commitment as stakeholders, organizations, and board and staff are what helps drive our shared vision for a sustainable, impactful tourism growth across our region. As we conclude today's meeting, let us carry forward the momentum of collaboration, innovation that defines CCT. We look forward to another successful year working together to elevate our communities, businesses, and visitor experience. With no further business to address, I would like to pass a motion. I would like to pass a motion that with no further business arising, the Board of Directors hereby adjourn the formal business AGM meeting. Could I have a mover, please? A motion to adjourn has been moved by Jackie Severis. Thank you very much. And this concludes the formal part of this AGM. And now we get on to the fun stuff, as Chuck said. We get to learn what is coming up ahead. So Chuck, go ahead, please.
Perfect. Thank you. Look at that, 23 minutes. That's awesome. So, all right, so what are we doing here? So today what we're going to do, I thought we'd do it a little bit different. We're going to go through a bunch of different updates, but I'm going to have the staff talk about what's going on with their respective portfolios. I think that's it's a great opportunity with everyone here on this call in this meeting for you to see the people that sometimes you may not get to see because they're behind the phone or you don't get to meet them in person. But I want to start by sharing some fantastic news, and this is all thanks to Tom and all the efforts that he puts in from a research perspective and all these committees. Research has come a long way in the last little while, and he sits on some fantastic national committees that are pulling some amazing numbers. Here's the highlights. With all of you here and all of our stakeholders, we were able to show 3.5 billion with a B dollars in spending in York, Durham, and Headwaters in 2024. I think I did the tax. Didn't I do the tax with you, Christine Dodd, yesterday? We were on the phone, and I think the provincial tax on that was $280 or $290 million in PST that was generated in our region for the province to pay for other things, to pay for education, to pay for roads, to pay for health. It is incredible how powerful this industry is as a whole. The most interesting part is that our US and overseas visitation rose, our overall spending rose by, I think, 12%. which was great. Most of it's still domestic, which is also great because we have 7 million people living within 75 kilometers of any point in Central County. So it is very important to keep those domestic visitors wanting to come see us. But overall, with all of the work that you're doing, all of the communities that now have an actual plan in place and are refreshing them is letting us all have this really excellent focus on growing the visitor economy and doing it correctly, which means collaboration, not seeing borders between communities, and working together to tell that common story wherever we can. So it has, when I saw this slide, Tom showed it to us it came in during a staff meeting, which was fantastic, and he was able to show us the data, and it blew my mind. It really speaks to all of the effort everyone on this call and everyone else put in. All right, so now I'm going to switch it over to Tom. There you go, Tom. You can go through your what's new.
All right, I'm going to keep this to 5 minutes as well, too. Thanks, Chuck.
I got
So
time.
I'm really excited about these two new products. First is Visitor View. So it's Visitor View 2.0. This is a product from Environics Analytics, and it uses mobility data to measure overnight visitation. So that's overnight visitation to hotels, motels, Airbnb, but also cottages, second home, and visiting friends and relatives as well, and campgrounds and cottages. So this information is really great to measure overall overnight visitation into the area. So it actually launched about 5 years ago, but it was limited to overnight visitation to tourism regions only, and those people who traveled 60 plus kilometers. Now, for me, that wasn't good enough, and I kept pushing EA for 5 years to change 60 kilometers to 40 kilometers. 40 kilometers is a magic number for us that aligns with the overnight visit, that aligns with the Canadian definition of what a tourist is, someone who travels 40 plus kilometers. And I also wanted to increase in not just tourism regions, but also into municipalities. So they finally made the change, and it was just launched last Friday, June 13th. So this is brand new data. So it's really, it's been a lot of work on the back end, guys. And second is a new product from Rove, which Chuck mentioned the numbers from that in the previous slide. So now we have economic impact and visitor spend for our region, and we'll also soon have it for our municipalities for purchase. We'll be able to measure visitor spend by month, category, and market. So domestic, US, or international. So this has been, it's just one simple slide, but there's been a lot of work going into this. I promise you that. And then this is just next slide. And this is just really adding on to our current products as well too. So with the complexities of collecting visitor research to grow our visitor economy with empirical data rather just relying on anecdotal stories, I created our visitor research program almost 7 years ago, and has grown to include mobility data, geofencing, postal code analysis, and also hotel data. So we and our stakeholders use this data to validate the value of the visitor economy in our region and municipalities in numerous examples, from using the data on ministry reports, council presentations, community tourism plans, wayfinding strategies, and helping you, our stakeholders, better understand and grow visitation. First product is geofencing, which provides us an estimate of the number of visits from locals and tourists to a specific area. So that could be a downtown core, or that could be a business, or a large area that we want to look at. I draw the geofence to exclude roads and drive-through traffic. So I'm trying to capture just visitation to the area, so we see who's actually exploring and engaging with the community. And the data really helps us understand the visitor dynamics, visitor demographics, how far they travel to see you, where they're coming from, and its seasonality to ensure that you are marketing to the right markets and when. And this starts at $565 plus tax. Also, similar reports is our postal code reports, which produce similar reports, but they're tailored to when you have ticketed events and are able to collect postal codes from your visitors. So like online tickets or in person at a POS machine there. And that starts at $149. We also have hotel data for municipalities, so it allows us to know monthly and weekly data for occupancy percentage, ADR, RevPAR, and that starts at $1,200 plus tax. So a lot of this data, we help our stakeholders understand who's coming, but also kind of validate tourism. So one quick example I want to give is one of our councillors a couple of years ago said, we don't want tourists along our waterfront because they bring a lot of garbage and just doesn't look good for a community. I'm like, all right, I get it. I looked at the geofence data for that waterfront area, and 90% of the daily visits were actually coming from locals. So just that one piece of information from the geofence, completely mind shift, like 180-degree mind shift. I'm like, well, the problem is we need to educate our locals on the importance of throwing out garbage, signage, garbage cans, frequency of pickup, and so forth. And then really snowballs from there to having more sense of pride in the area, having more people come to have the locals become ambassadors and bring their friends and family who are visiting from out of town, and really more festivals and just really that sense of pride. So really be able to help that. Another quick example with the postal codes, Vaughan International Film Festival, we were collecting data from their events, and we learned that their visitors are also interested in art. So they actually partnered up with McMichael and also with the local artists, and had an art installation at their last event with a pop-up tent. And I think they had about 700 people just go inside that tent. So all of a sudden, you're not just talking about film, but you're also talking about film and art and having that engagement. But also on the back end, they're creating these partnerships, collaborating with other businesses, local artists, to really spread the word of mouth as well about the areas and such. And that's it.
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. I just want to Tom sort of downplayed that shift from 60 kilometers to 40 kilometers. It was a big deal, and it did take 5 years, and he was like a dog with a bone. He was not letting go. And I was on some of those calls, and they said, well, man, it's a lot of work for us to do it. And Tom's, I don't care. Like the information needs to be consistent across the board. If to have a community tourism plan that's showing tourism at 40 kilometers, but then trying to layer in something at 60 kilometers, it's not going to work. And it took them a long time, to buy into the concept that Tom wasn't going to let go, and B, to finally make it work. So it is a huge win, not just for central counties, but now for everyone across Canada, because it is now set at what the Canadian standard is for what a tourism visitor is. So it's a huge win for everybody, and it's all because of Tom. Anyway, I'm going to move on, and we're going to go over to Tom. You were supposed to go to Lisa, but I jumped in because I always do that.
Lisa's next. I'd like to introduce you to Lisa, our Durham Industry Relations Manager.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to just share a few highlights about Durham Region. So Durham Region is an extremely exciting place to be. I think it's, for me, Durham Region is on the tourism map. We're seeing a lot of significant activity over my past couple of years working on this portfolio. So the regional tourism, so Durham Region has their tourism plan in place, which is setting a vision. It's setting a vision for all the municipalities. We also, to Chuck's comments earlier, the big 4 municipalities in the south have either MAT tax in place. In Oshawa and Whitby and Pickering and Ajax are introducing that. That's providing significant resourcing around people, and obviously a bit of a budget to be able to spend on the visitor economy. And Durham Region is establishing an identity. We're getting there. We are in the marketplace between the regional staff, all the municipal people that are working on the marketing, as well as our team, and all the way up the chain, Destination Ontario. I feel that in Durham Region, we are really starting to establish an identity around the key attractions and businesses and stakeholders that are doing so much work. Arts and culture, agritourism. There's a lot of activity around parasports, lakes, trails. So lots of things happening in the region. The list goes on. some of the highlights in terms of the areas that we're involved in and that we support with, we're working on 3 visitor growth plans at the moment. So Scugog Shores Museum, so that's an operator-specific tourism plan. It's rolling out shortly. Township of Scugog and Township of Brock, we're in the process of doing those, and those plans really provide a foundation and a vision, a roadmap for those municipalities. All of the municipalities have plans in place now, which was something we celebrated last year. In terms of partnership, we are supporting lots and lots of different events and operators, some award-winning, some of the biggies, Convergence Music Festival in Oshawa, Springtide Music Festival, which has just passed this last week and said they have record numbers, sold out completely. Culture Days, Theatre on the Ridge, municipalities, so Oshawa, Brock, Uxbridge, the municipalities are doing a lot in terms of investing in destination development, so we're able to support them through partnership with that. New for the region is some activity around film tourism, which is exciting. And there was in the past intake for partnership, a Highway of Heroes military museums, which are Canadian Tank Museum, which is becoming a world-class tank museum, has been a part of that. So we were able to be, so lots of amazing partnerships that we're involved with. Networking events, so Scugog, Uxbridge, Brock, the northern municipalities, we support them with their networking events, and then the larger municipalities, we attend those as well. The visitor research, which Tom just spoke about, to me is really instrumental in providing all of the operators as well as the municipalities and region with a bit of an idea around the visitation and giving them an idea of year-over-year growth. So something that they can kind of work towards. The visitation growth that we're seeing across the board for the downtowns in Durham is up to 25%, which is just amazing to me. And the last area is sector support. And I would just say that our team is coming together, all of us, the marketing, the research, working with the region as well, to really provide the supports that our stakeholders are needing. Some of the areas for sector support in the arts and culture are obviously partnership, but the website, so you'll see changes, which our team is going to talk about on our website. Museums and heritage, the website again, and marketing and partnership. Agritourism, we provide photography and podcast support for our new cideries, breweries. And then around film tourism, excuse me, route development support, and obviously the networking really helps to get everybody together in the same room. So a lot of support, and our whole team is working on this vision for helping Durham region. So I'm really excited to be on this portfolio. And I think that's it for me. I'm going to pass it along to Sarah Gata, who is our IRM for Headwaters.
Good morning. Thank you, Lisa. So it's a very exciting time in Headwaters for tourism. This is a very large and diverse area. For those who are familiar, it houses everything from large provincial parks, forests, industrial, cities, and within this region, you can be a tourist even if you live in this area because it is so large with our 40-kilometer range. If you live in Dufferin County, you could live in Dufferin County and be a tourist in Dufferin County, which is just so exciting. And it's really helped us formulate some new strategies with our partners there. So I'll start with Erin. Erin has a visitor growth plan underway with a fall completion. This is very exciting. The downtown construction is almost done and things are ramping up. There's a few new businesses, so we're really excited to be working with Erin and helping them grow their tourism attractions. In Caledon, for those of you who follow golf, you'll know that the Canadian Open just finished, I guess it was a week and a half ago. There were over 131,000 visitors over the week. The Visit Caledon activation, which Emily, our board member, managed pretty much single-handedly, saw people from all across Ontario, Canada, the US, and even internationally. In the next little while, we'll be getting stats from Golf Canada, who had a survey on site, but doesn't close until later this month. And then Sports Tourism Canada was also there collecting data. So in the next few months, we'll have more information and be able to drill down on who exactly came and how much they spent. And of course, the Open will be at TPC Osprey again next year. And Osprey Valley now has added some accommodations. So for some of the players who want to stay on site, it's a great stay and play opportunity for them. Dufferin County, we recently had an investors tour that laid the groundwork for future growth. This investor tour had stakeholders from numerous different tourism operations and stakeholders come together to spend the entire day, basically from 7 in the morning till 6 at night, and toured and heard from stakeholders all around the region. And this was sort of a test tour to see how we can attract investors into the region to grow not just the tourism assets, but business and development, and basically growing Dufferin County as a whole by focusing in on the tourism highlights. Dufferin County is also just about to launch, starting next week, a culinary collective field trip series. And this is an in-depth look at the agritourism businesses in the area. I'm very excited to attend the first one next week. And then they have a MAP feasibility study underway as well. The number of accommodations is growing, and it's an opportunity to use this tax money to help improve the assets. We'll see how this goes. It's going to be a interesting rollout as we go through the stages of the feasibility study. And then partnership, as Lisa said, we invest a lot of money. This is just a small snapshot of a dozen or so businesses we've helped over the last year, but there are many others. And just some of the new ones, which rolls into my next point of accommodations, Monopine Glampings and the Nest Suites. It's not a lot, but it's 3 more places, 3 more rooms where people can stay in the area for an area that is, it's like a drought of accommodation. There's just not a lot. Every new room we get in Headwaters is very exciting. We've also helped fund the Dufferin Film Festival, which was new last year, and they also saw visitors internationally and from across Canada. So that was very exciting, and they have now extended the festival by another day. So this year it'll be even longer and attract more people. And then I've already touched on the accommodations, and through Dufferin and Caledon, there's more than 100 new rooms in the Headwaters region. So that's the highlights of Headwaters, and it's been very exciting working and seeing the growth in my 3 years that I've been working on the Headwaters region. And now I will hand it over to the other Sarah Sterling, who helps with York.
Thanks, Sarah. So York has also been an exciting region in tourism this year and moving forward. So municipally, we have some visitor growth plans. We had one in Aurora and one in Stouffville recently, a MAT tax implementation in Newmarket, and we're going to be starting a wayfinding strategy in Aurora soon with their new economic development director. Stouffville has hired their very first tourism officer, Christina, who is on the board, which was a big step for them coming out of that visitor growth plan. So that was really exciting. And the other thing municipally, regionally, I wanted to touch on was the fact that because York Region does not have its own tourism kind of office, I've started meetings with each of my main contacts in municipalities. Every quarter we have a regional Teams call, and everybody kind of goes through and updates each other on what they're doing. We talk about best practices, we collaborate. There's always kind of something that pops up where someone says, oh, you've done that. Can I talk to you after? Because we're looking at doing that and I want to hear how you did it, that kind of stuff. So that's going really well. Really excited to be doing that. In partnership, as Lisa and Sarah said, we've had a ton of really great partnerships. Jazzlicious, Vaughan Film Festival, Lavender Polo Farm, new things they're doing there. One of the kind of neatest ones we had coming out of the first intake was the national, and this was a new one, National Artistic Swimming Championships at the Pan Am Center. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Pan Am. It's a massive facility here in Markham, and they have tons of events there. But this one in particular, he was introduced to us through Destination Markham. He got partnership and for out of area marketing. And the other really kind of cool piece was he gave me a call and he said, I've got these hundreds of families in Markham for a week and they need stuff to do. So within one day, I had introduced him to Legoland, Vaughan Mills, Wonderland, and Treetop Trekking, and I think Reptilia as well. And he had connected with them and got, various coupons and passes and deals and all sorts of stuff. So that's really the part that I love, is the connecting and the big wins for the new partners, so they can see how great it is to have events like this in York. Also, just on partnership, I'm a member of the Tourism Vaughan Partnership Committee Review. So I do that with Angela actually and Ashley, and that's always a great thing to be a part of as well. For networking, we just had one in Stouffville last week. It was really successful with Christina there, and made a lot of connections there. There's even a conversation already starting about a possible trail or a cheer trail with booze in York Region, so that's very fun. And Destination Markham's got its summer social next week, which is a huge event with over 100 people. So there's lots of connections happening through networking. And then back to what I was saying before about my regional calls, we have decided to hold a regional networking event. So this is the first time this is happening. We're just calling it Packaging with Partners. And essentially, I've asked the rep from each of the 9 municipalities to pick 10 people to bring to this event. And it's at Rouge River Brewery. And essentially, we're going to have a mix of hotels and attractions and municipal staff, and try to really encourage cross municipal packaging and collaborations. We've really noticed, Randy, I think he's on the call, from Markham has been using the term Markham-ish on some of his packages and things, because he's partnering with Willow Springs, he's partnering with Treetop Trekking, and there really is, especially in York, there are no boundaries. We all meld into each other, and so there's so many opportunities there. So really excited about that event happening, and that's in July. And then research, like Lisa and Sarah mentioned, quite a few are engaged. Georgina, Art Society King, Richmond Hill Center for the Performing Arts, Rouge River Brewery, Newmarket. Lots of people really, really interested in what we have to offer with research. And then on industry equipping, just wanted to mention that Markham, Destination Markham again, they're actually, I just find this is really cool. They're holding regular fam tours for hotel staff in Markham, and taking them around to different restaurants and attractions so that they're educated when visitors come in. And then, of course, photo shoots that we're doing with the marketing team. We just did one last week at Muddy York Brewery, Willow Springs, Latcham Art Center in Stouffville. We've done the Hilton. We've done Vaughan Mills, Village of Black Creek, Treetop Trekking, and it goes on. Because there's a lot of stakeholders in York. So, and then I'm actually also going to speak about golf in Ontario. I am the staff kind of rep, I guess, for golf in Ontario, and this is something I am a golfer. I love golf, so when I joined the team, I asked Chuck if I could take that on. And it's been really exciting. The growth is crazy. If you haven't heard of Golf in Ontario, it is a program that uses golf as a catalyst to bring tourism into both York Durham headwaters and all of Ontario. In YDH, we have 60 courses, 41 hotels, 7 that's Ontario, 7 DMOs. We have a partnership we've done with the beer store for a couple of years now, which is a really cool contest. And FootJoy is just started last year, and that was amazing. The numbers with that, there was, I just looked on socials. In Instagram, they had 107,000 views about the contest and gained 8,000 emails alone from that contest for their distribution list. So that was a big one. And then you'll see the numbers here of how much money comes in, how much revenue that our stakeholders gain in these packages. And it's crazy. 2024, almost $1.4 million. And 2025, just in the first 4 months, is already 1.1. So this will be a bigger year. The groups that are coming in are crazy. Brad, who has the main person that does this with us, he'll randomly send us these super cool emails about a group of 40 guys coming from California to Belleville to golf, things like that, which it's awesome that they're coming this far. The other thing to note on the numbers is these are actual track numbers. But they do not include additional spending by participants on food, drink, retail, gas, anything else. So the numbers obviously are quite a bit more when you look at tourism impact. And then the other piece that I think is super cool is the entire program budget was $81,000 in 2024. So that represents a 17 times ROI when you look at these revenues. So it's just an awesome program, and it just keeps growing and growing. So we're really excited about it. And that's it for me. And I am going to pass it over to our fantastic Director of Marketing, Sue.
Hi, everyone. Sandra's not here today, so I'm going to give a brief over the B2B marketing. Sandra's taken the B2B portfolio above and beyond with her leadership. We've really extended our audience growth for our newsletter at LinkedIn and Instagram. So our newsletter continues to be, it has an open rate of 78%, I think, or it's fantastic, where people are really using it to learn about the opportunities, and everything in the newsletter is actually really relevant content that is educational, or it's identifying opportunities for our stakeholders. So that proves to be a key communication tool for us. And on the B2B site, as you know, like when I first started, I can't remember how many stakeholders we had, something like 300-400, and now we're above and beyond 1,600. So which is great, but now we're trying to establish some sort of communication tools and intake forms for what's going on with all of our stakeholders. So you'll start to see this year new content submission tools. For example, you'll see pop-ups on the website for campaign content. If people want to, we're starting in July to ask stakeholders to supply us with their content for fall. We're trying to get ahead of the game so we can actually build out our fall campaign with a significant lead time. And that's in response to the demand from journalists and media and stakeholders and like Destination Ontario for fall content with a large lead time. So that is something new for us. So we're going to try and make it as easy as possible for our stakeholders to submit that content to us. Also, we have a series of new forms for photography, social media support, and any other kind of marketing support that's on the website right now. But with the in coordination with the newsletter and these pop-ups on the website, we'll be reminding all of our stakeholders to fill in those forms. We also have an incredible program that Chuck and I were able to work with Globe and Mail to get our advertising rate to share that rate with all of our stakeholders. So, for example, if it's full pages in the Globe and Mail, and the rate is $19,900, so basically $20,000. But our stakeholders, if they book through us, can get it for $5,000. And I'm also
Right, but you
working with
can't
Sandra
tell
to-
anyone.
Yeah. What do you mean?
They have to keep it a secret if they take advantage of it. Oh no, did I lose Sue? Oh, that's my fault. I take
Yes.
full
Sorry,
She just
guys.
joined again.
I don't.
That's my fault. I'm
I
sorry,
know,
Sue. I just jumped
You're
in
like,
on
"That's
that.
all
So-
I don't know. I don't know if you booted me out, but anyway, I was going to say it's a really exciting program. So I'm putting together some scenarios for people. So if in fact you can't afford $5,000 for a full page, I'm putting together our co-op program notes for people if they want to, to do something like that with other RTOs or sorry, with other DMOs and other stakeholders to actually be able to afford that. So that's really exciting for us. I think that our stakeholders are really going to enjoy it, especially municipalities and DMOs. So that's big news for us. And the second is we are morphing over from our Simple View image bank to a new system called Cloudinary, which is going to make our image bank much, much easier to navigate. It's very difficult to navigate right now because we have 22,000 images. So we are working through that project right now. It's a beast for sure, but you'll be able to use AI queries to find the images that you need. So I'm looking, Christina Liu is on my screen right now. So if you wanted to look at, I need pictures of people eating ice cream on a beach, and you'll be able to pull all those images up. So it's something that's going to be more intuitive. Our dashboard and database. So like I said, we've got about 1,600 stakeholders now, and we're starting to use our dashboard and our database, our directory as a CRM system. So that will make things very easy for us to, we're meta tagging all of our stakeholders with data to be able to use it for a marketing purpose. So we'll be able to pull information for marketing campaigns with ease based on the meta tags that we're assigning every stakeholder. So that's really great too. It'll be a lot of eliminate a lot of work on our IRM side when we're looking for campaign content. And the other really great thing that I wanted to mention for B2B is we're developing an AI concierge, which is going to be query based as well. So if a new stakeholder comes to our website or someone that's been using it for a long time, you'll be able to enter a question like, I am new to Central County's tourism. I want to start a marketing campaign and take advantage of all the funding opportunities that I have. What do I need? And the concierge will pull up all of the courses, the grant opportunities, the funding opportunities, and any kind of educational content that you would require to start, introducing yourself to a specific, program. And like, for example, like if you're applying for partnership, and you would enter a query like, I'm applying for partnership, what do I need to do? It will pull up educational content about how to build a budget, how to do reporting. So all of it's making it really streamlined for our stakeholders to get that information, with just a question. So that's going to be probably ready to go in Q4, so in the winter. But yeah, we're really excited about that. I think our stakeholders will really love it. So that is it for B2B. B2C, as always, there's lots going on. Our seasonal campaigns, we build them on data that we get from trends research and visitor needs. So we're continuing with our shoestring summer for this summer. And you see our little goose, we've Canadianized him because, Destination Ontario has launched this We Stand campaign to actually promote Canadian pride and get people to stay in Ontario to vacation. So our our campaigns are oriented around that, and we'll also be focusing on, budget friendly road trips. So that is continue there. Those microsites are continuing to be successful. We see spikes in our traffic. I think I might have mentioned before, we had a bit of a downswing in our traffic last year, but now with these campaigns, we're back up to pre-COVID. So we're getting about 300,000 visits to the site every year, which is great. We also have developed microsites within yorkdurhamheadwaters.ca to address very specific categories of products that people are looking for. So like I was mentioning before, we have so many stakeholders now. We were looking at ways that we can profile everyone in a more strategic way. So when our visitor is looking for a specific thing to do, we have these new microsites that are going to be front and center on the website, but also we can run campaigns off of them as well. And the first one is Creative Spaces. That is in response to, I don't know if the board remembers, but before COVID, we had a series of networking sessions with visual artists about how can visual artists become more, collaborate more with tourism, and how can the visual arts community be seen through a tourism lens. So we've built out this incredible microsite called Creative Spaces, which showcases the visual arts community. And also, studio tours, and also, articles will also be being produced about investing in art. And then we have our Sips and Stories page, which is about alcohol, basically alcohol, prohibition, the Meet the Makers articles that we have. And then the third is Historically Speaking. And that's in response to, as Lisa alluded from Durham, that we have these amazing rural museums that are not being profiled in the right way. So this will give them a chance to be shine. So we have this Historically Speaking page, which is all about our rural museums and heritage. And that will give us an opportunity to really make those three portfolios, rise above the clutter on our website. And then also we are looking at now with the increase of our stakeholders, and then also our budget is limited for photography. We are now looking at optimizing our photography and visual content program. And that means that we are looking to partner with people, with stakeholders, to leverage our dollars to get more for our money. So we'll be releasing some more information about that through the B2B communications. And so we're excited about that. Jess has, who's on the call with us now, has had some really great success stories partnering with more than one partner to actually leverage their dollars to, really get some incredible content for our image bank, and also for our reels, like for our influencer program. And then we are also developing a silver, I say silver, the silver and multicultural marketing portfolios that we have. The silver market is growing quite rapidly, and so is the multicultural market as well. So we are putting into place a new strategy to work with large media groups to address these markets in the way that they want to be addressed. So we have meetings with Y Media and CARP to NCAA as well, to kind of figure out a strategy to reach these people, to get them to come up to our region. And also we're expanding our print and a digital partnership program. So we've seen a significant spike in organic direct search this past year. So that means that people are into print again. So whenever we have a print piece in market, we see a direct search spike, which means that people are looking directly for our website. So I think that the fatigue for the influence, from a digital perspective, it's still important, but there is a fatigue with influencers, and there's a fatigue with Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising as well. So I think we're looking at doing new things with print and digital partnerships as well. Like, so we're working with Narcity or Curiosity. They're valid, public approved outlets that we see that they're more worthwhile than working with several small influencers. So Jess and I are working on a strategy to address those as well. But I think print is back, which sounds funny, but like this several workshops we've been attending have shown that people want something in their hands, especially on a road trip, which is and as we are the road trip destination for Ontario, so as Adriana just flipped forward, these are some of the things that we're getting. These digital partnerships and print partnerships that are collaborations are having way more impact than a singular approach. So we did something with Foodism where we had a full page ad about a foodie road trip, which is in their magazine. Then we had 4 ads that are dropping in through the summer in their newsletters, along with an Instagram takeover and billboards. And also with Canada Travel magazine, we got the front cover for the Canada Travel magazine. Within it, we have a 2-page spread of editorial and also 2 billboards. One is at the Pearson Airport, and one is on the Gardiner into Toronto. So these are having a major on our organic direct search figure, our analytics. So we know that they're working. So I think we're going to do more of that here. So that is new trend, old trend that's coming back. Everything's cool. So yeah, so that is update from marketing. I know I went way beyond 2 minutes, but sorry.
There was lots to update. The takeaway from this as someone on the call is, I'm sure that everyone gets inundated with newsletters and things like that, and it's very difficult to figure out which ones you should and shouldn't be focused on. In my opinion, as an organization, you should focus in, if you were going to pick 3, or you should do your municipal newsletter and or your DMO newsletter, Central County's newsletter, which is excellent, the TIO newsletter, which has a ton of stuff, especially on the advocacy side. So and then if you're part of a sector, your sector association one, and that'll keep you in the know and give you everything you require. So the Sue had mentioned some of the microsites. So the SIPs and the can't remember what we're calling it, tipsy traveler or something like that.
Sips and stories.
Sips and stories is up and running, as is the new TNT podcast. So we launched this years ago. We had a fantastic researcher come in and do all of this awesome research about what took place during Prohibition in our region. And we've had some audio file, different types of tours. But when it was just Chris talking, I always found it sounded like a lecturer. And I thought people might not listen to it. So last year we went to 5 different breweries, wineries, cideries, and we got to meet the owners. And then as Chris and I bantered after they had gone, we then had Chris tell me the stories of what took place in that area. And I didn't know them beforehand. And it's turned into this great little podcast. And I certainly highly recommend that you all take a listen. And this summer and fall, Chris and I will be back doing at 6 more locations to do season 2. And the whole idea is it's going to drive people back to this great microsite where they can learn about all of the different alcohol producers and learn about the trails that are there, and getting people to collaborate and really make sure that they are part of the plans whenever people travel to our region. I know we talked a lot about is ready, looking for organizations that want to be among the first to animate their spaces with us. You're also going to be able to check out the technology very soon at the Village at Black Creek, the Canadian Automotive Museum, Pickering Museum Village, Newmarket Old Town Hall. And that's stories that are through our spine-tingling tour. So these are characters. These let's see. She is from Black Creek Pioneer Village, and he is from the Newmarket Old Town Hall stories. These are your ghost guides who will tell you the stories hunting from that time period. And this guy was developed by Clearwater Farm, who is one of our first stakeholders to implement. And every week, if you are getting their weekly food basket, you'll be able to scan the QR code, and this guy is going to tell you what is in the basket this week. And then we'll also talk about what's happening at the farm in the upcoming weeks, any new events that are coming. And then there'll be a link at the end that will either go to the event page for people to sign up for stuff, or if there's nothing that is pressing in terms of events, he said he's going to try to link to recipes that feature the ingredients that are in the basket. So people are using this in really, really creative ways, and we're looking for more people who think that they can do it. My next step with these 8 people is to build out sort of the full-on how-to guide. So I want to work with the stakeholders, find out where the roadblocks are, so that the guide becomes more and more clear, so it becomes easier and easier for the next set of people to do it. So if you at all want to be part of AVTR1 and use the technology, please email me and we will get you set up. The partnership program is up and running. We just had our second intake closed on Friday the 13th. Next one is September the 15th and December the 15th. Remember, you have to talk to your industry relations managers because they know what's going on and they will help you with your application. They'll let you know what we're looking for and that sort of thing. We also have a new small business marketing support stream, which I think if you are a small business or a festival or event, you should take a look at. It is basically to help you extend the reach of your marketing dollars. And it can be up to $2,000. If you invest $2,000, we'll invest $2,000, and it can be over the whole rest of the year. So it's not like it's for a specific thing. It's like, okay, I've got these different projects, and we're going to do some boosting here, we'll do some boosting there. We try to make it so that even the small guys have that opportunity to get some extra reach. And then for the bigger ones, it's up to $10,000 in match funding to support for out of region marketing, route development, destination development. Keep in mind that every intake so far, more than 4 times, we're getting like 4 times the ask than we have the money for. So it is a very, very tight competition. Having said that, we love that everyone is applying. And of course, our core business is to support you. So we know about what you're doing, and then we will work with you to figure out how to help in other ways. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Adriana, who's going to talk about some of the great things that are happening on the industry equipping side.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. I think I heard something there. But I just want to thank everyone for still being here. And just before we wrap up for the morning, I'll give a quick update about kind of what's new with learning and education. So I'm guessing you've picked up by now, there's a lot going on, which can maybe be a bit information overload, so do not fear. Throughout the year, we're actually going to be offering lunch and learns to help kind of keep this information top of mind and really drill in on anything that's really particularly interesting to you. So if you haven't joined one yet, the idea behind Lunch and Learn is that you block off your lunch hour and join us for one of these sessions, because we do know that it's a lot to ask to take time out of the middle of your day or your morning, but everyone does have to eat. So why not make it a productive lunch? So far we have included, in some of these sessions, we've done a social media Lunch and Learn, where we actually went through part 1 of our 4-part social media marketing course. And at the end of that, the attendees actually earn their completion badge for that course. So these sessions can be a really great way to say, you know what, today's the day, I'm going to finally start one of these courses and kind of get that momentum going. So we're likely going to do another session like that. We've hosted, again, Q&A sessions related to partnership, usually at the beginning of every new intake, session of intakes, again, to share any changes, the best practices, and ultimately answer your questions to help make the process smoother and improve your chance for success. Ultimately, as Chuck mentioned, it's quite a competitive program. We're excited to be adding a data crunch lunch with Tom. I just have chips that day or something, treat yourself, to again explore some of these newer research tools that are available, share some case studies, and really kind of show how there are so many different use cases, whether it's, you know, gaining more budget, winning grants, or kind of inspiring new campaigns, that ways you can use this research. Later in the fall, we'll explore AVTR and kind of check in on that, because there's always something new being kind of discovered and rolled out within that. And as Sue mentioned, there's a big refresh being done for the image bank. So we'll probably do a how-to on that, and just other kind of topics, and keeping you guys up to date on things as we change them. Because again, we know you get a lot of newsletters. And then we'll be sprinkling in some sessions with some of our tourism partners and pros. Many of you on the call today, I might be tapping on your shoulder to get you to come on the mic. But you know, we get creative with the resources we have, and who better to hear it from than people that we know and trust. We're also very excited to announce the Tourism Route Development e-learning course is now live in the Learning Lab. This was a labor of love. It's a 100% custom course developed by Chuck and the IRM team, who you heard from today. And I mean, do they know their or what? So this course includes guided instruction, lots of breaks where you actually can walk away, roll up your sleeves, and actually work through some of the checklists, make phone calls, and get your route in motion. So like all of our courses in the Learning Lab, you can again start them and stop them anytime and pick up right where you left off. And they're all free. So they're all in there for you at any time. This course again includes some awesome cameos from Slabtown Cider, Second Wedge Brewery, Stonewell Lavender Farm, and Archibald Orchard and Winery. So again, really just making this super relevant. These are real owner operators that have worked through this process and are reaping the benefits and having a good time. Next slide, please, Chuck. And lastly, as we mentioned, we love seeing your faces in person. I like all your initials and all, but I'm like, who am I talking to? So we can't wait to again be hosting our annual symposium in 2026. The last few years have been in York, but we're heading east, Durham. So thank you again to our co-presenting sponsors, Durham Tourism and the town of Whitby. So we don't have a lot of details at the moment, but things are coming together. There will be sponsorship opportunities available. As always, we'll get that information out to you as soon as possible once it's ready, and you know, make sure you jump on it if you're interested. And then keep an eye on that inbox again for early bird ticket sales, because that is when you save. So you can put that money towards other fun things. And again, I just want to say thanks to all the staff. These are some awesome updates, really exciting energy heading into the year. And it's good to be back. And now over to you, Chuck.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to actually stop sharing, and then so we can see more people. So if you have any questions, we don't have, I don't think we've got the date set. Do we, Adriana? We're close.
No, not yet.
Yeah, it'll be
usually.
It's in March, typically near the end of March. It will not be March break. It'll be either the week before or the week after, and it's typically on a Monday. Just we put it on a Monday because a lot of people, some of our smaller businesses are, yeah. And the link to, sorry, the link to what application, Layla? See, this is why we're having questions. So you can put up your hand if you want to chat, or just put any questions you have right into the chat, and then we can try to answer them.
Yes. Hi, the application you introduced, partnership program, accepting application. The link,
yeah.
Do you send us email?
It's just go to centralcounties.ca. That's our B2B website, and that has all of the information. And from there, you just click partnership. And also you can sign up for the Learning Lab, do all sorts of stuff on centralcounties.ca. That's our B2B channel, and that's where all of the business to business information comes from. Oh, look
Thank
at
you
that.
so much.
Adriana took you one step further.
No problem.
She's
Yeah, so if
awesome.
you just scroll down on that page, Layla, you'll see, depending on what region you're in, I'm not sure. But if you're in York, for example, you first reach out to Sarah Sterling, who you saw here today, and have a chat about your application. We just want to make sure that it's the right fit, and then she'll give you the link and you can start your application.
Okay. Any other questions? There is a lot going on this year, a lot of opportunities. If you are, I think that if you aren't in good contact with your industry relations manager, you should get in good contact with them. And also because these networking events that are starting to take shape more and more often are a wonderful opportunity for you to get to know people in your community and outside of within that regional scope. I think that's sort of your first step, is what I would say that everyone should be doing is chatting with Sarah and Lisa, and then also finding out, and from them finding out what's happening and how to get more involved. The one that we just did in Stouffville was phenomenal. Like Christina, you got what, 50 or 60 people, out at least. And I know that we've got at least 2 or 3 things that have already come to fruition, plus this meeting we're having. So, okay. So with nothing else, what we will do is we will adjourn. Well, we'll just stop this meeting. We probably stop the recording now, Adriana, for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to ask that all of the new board members, all of our board, stay on, but we are going to take 8 minutes